everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released last year, the year 2015. We're talking about a fragrance that is a flanker of a popular fragrance from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. We're talking about Kouros Silver. Now, Kouros Silver, again, released in the year 2015, is a flanker of the original Kouros and the more famous Body Kouros. Both of those fragrances were really strong fragrances, really pronounced fragrances, and ones that left an impression on people, good or bad. So I was really curious to actually go and get a hold of this fragrance. Now, a couple of ground notes real quick. This fragrance is, as far as the bottle goes, is very similar to the Kouros and Body Kouros bottles, probably more similar to Body Kouros just because of the color. But the colorway of the bottle is just really the defining feature that really separates it from the other ones. So keep that in mind. Now, it's available in two main sizes, a 1.7 and a 3.4. 3.4 is going to run you $74 retail, and the 1.7 is going to run you about $54 retail. But look around, you can find this one heavily discounted, much cheaper. It's been discounted rather quickly, if you will, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All right? So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the notes of this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance consist of, at our top, we have apple. In our mid, we have sage. And for our base, we have wood and amber. Alright, so when I sprayed this one, I immediately, even before I sprayed this, I thought I was going to be smelling something that was very similar to Kouros or Body Kouros. And I can tell you guys right off the bat that if this is what you're expecting, you're going to be either disappointed or pleasantly surprised, because it smells nothing like Kouros or Body Kouros for that matter. It's its own fragrance, and it might as well be nicknamed or named something else rather than using the Kouros name to kind of, I guess you could say, grab in more people, for better or for worse. The apple is really the prominent note within this fragrance. So you get the apple, and the amber is really what brings it up. I get a little bit, I don't want to say it's sage because I really don't think that it smells like sage. Maybe it's because it's mixed in with the fragrance, but apple and amber are really the main highlight notes. And then I kind of get this, I guess you could say, like powdery, this powdery, almost, how do I say it, like spicy vibe to it. If I'm to compare this fragrance to any other fragrance, this fragrance reminds me of a lot of the Armani's, like Armani Code. It reminds me of Versace Eros, especially. Versace Eros is probably the closest comparison that I can give you for this fragrance. You're going to get this apple note as well as this amber note, and it really remains the same throughout the fragrance. This is not a fragrance that changes its complexion throughout the development of it, but it really remains the same and constant. So just think of apple and amber. If you happen to like apple, if you happen to like amber, you may very well like this fragrance. But outside of that, it really doesn't have that much else that's kind of going on for this fragrance. It does smell very pleasant, I'll give it that. But it's a smell that I've smelled, you know, with among a lot of fragrances. It follows that same type of DNA with it. Now, I go about 3 sprays with this one. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. It really depends on how it is. This one doesn't lack any power for it. It projects pretty well. It's going to last you about, I'd say, anywhere between like 5 and 8 hours. So, so longevity, but it projects pretty well. You spray 3 sprays on, people are going to be able to smell you a good distance away. So it has that power to it. I think it's a great fragrance for the night out. I think it's a great fragrance for casual settings. But work, no, it's a little bit more, it's a little bit too aggressive for my taste for work. Age group wise, any age group can pull this one off, and I think this is a great fall scent. However, if you're in the summer, if you're in the spring and it's nighttime out and it's a little bit cooler, this might be a great fragrance for you to use as well. All right? Compliment wise, I did get one compliment in my process of testing this one. So Kouros Silver, I suspect, is actually a pretty good compliment getter the more that you actually wear it from. Again, I didn't do the 100 testing for this, so unfortunately I can't give you the opinions of 100 people on this one. All right? But I just get the feeling from this, since it follows those same veins as, you know, the Eros, the Armani Code, this is going to be a people pleaser, and it is a people pleaser from my experience. All right? So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the rating for this fragrance. I am going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating of 7 out of 10. Now, I'll put a disclaimer on this right away. It's getting a 7 out of 10, and it may be, I may be giving this one a little bit of a lower score just because I've smelled the variants of this version just so many times, especially in the most recent months. A lot of fragrance companies seem to be coming out with this very similar kind of nighttime, clubby-esque type of a vibe to it. They'll mix some citrus in with some amber notes, some woody notes, and some spices, and then call it the night fragrance. And I'm smelling this so many frequent times, so I didn't want to give it too big of a bashing for it, because at the end of the day, if this is like your first fragrance or you're coming across this for the first time, this is a good smelling fragrance. I can't say anything bad about that. It's just that it feels like, I feel like this has been done too many times. So I fully attest to the fact that this is probably tainted. This rating is probably tainted from that fact. So if I was to give it a rating like I haven't never smelled this one before, it would probably be somewhere like an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. All right? That's my honest to goodness opinion. At the end of the day, it lasts a decent amount, not as long as I would actually like it to, but it is a good smelling fragrance, and it does generate a good amount of compliments from what I suspect. But that's pretty much it. All right, guys? Let me know what your thoughts are on Kouros Silver. If you have a different experience with it, what your thoughts are on it. Oh, and the other thing I'd probably like to add is, the other good thing is it is cheap at this point. You can get a 3.4 bottle. I saw it for as low as $30. So if you're looking for that type of scent, this might be a great option for you. All right? So that's pretty much it. Thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves. Leave your comments down below. Help people out. Take care of yourselves, and good day.